New Year's Wish, next Extra.
The American Taliban on American soil. John Walker returns to the United States tonight to face charges he conspired with terrorists to kill U.S. citizens in Afghanistan. The Enron company mess. A key witness refuses to testify before Congress. Eye on America. Smuggling cheap labor into the USA along the chicken trail. And we take you inside Afghanistan. Free of the Taliban, but as you will see, not free of danger.
This is the CBS Evening News with Dan Rather reporting from CBS News headquarters in New York.
Good evening. In this country's war against terrorism, one U.S. citizen chose to fight alongside the enemy. 20-year-old John Walker, the American Taliban, is back in the United States tonight to face charges he conspired to kill fellow Americans, charges that could get him life in prison. Walker will be tried in a U.S. civilian court, his rights protected by the U.S. Constitution, and as CBS's Jim Stewart reports, his life protected by U.S. agents. Jim?
Dan, the sun was just setting when young John Walker returned to his home country. This Air Force KC-10 tanker had departed Incirlik, Turkey hours earlier with Walker aboard. He was in restraints during much of the 18-hour flight. That was followed by a nonstop transfer to the jail that will serve as his home during the next several weeks or months. Then it will be just a few hours rest and straight to court.
Walker's journey began when he was airlifted from the U.S. amphibious ship Bataan to an airbase outside Kandahar where an Air Force cargo jet awaited. He will end up here Thursday morning at the Alexandria, Virginia Federal Courthouse for an initial appearance. It is there that Walker, who was captured December 1 while fighting with al-Qaeda forces in Afghanistan, will hear the charges against him and be told yet again of his right to a lawyer.
He will now have his day in court, and he will be judged impartially and fairly.
Walker's father and mother are in the Washington area and have retained a lawyer for him, but Walker, who initially rebuffed attempts by CIA agents to debrief him in Afghanistan,
hello, wake up. Who brought you here?
Turned down a lawyer when questioned by the FBI and has admitted to being trained by Osama bin Laden's al-Qaeda terrorist organization. So far, he faces 3 charges, including one of conspiracy to kill U.S. citizens, but the Justice Department hints more could follow.
Our investigation of Walker will continue. We have not ruled out filing additional charges against him.
Meanwhile, another al-Qaeda suspect who may have had post-September the 11th terrorist orders has been turned over to the U.S. in Bosnia. And FBI Director Robert Mueller was in Afghanistan coordinating the questioning of other prisoners.
As for Walker, the first big decisions facing him are, does he accept his family's attorney or get one of his own? Shortly after Walker's arrival, his family's attorney released a statement saying Walker now knows that his mom and dad have hired a lawyer, but giving no clue as to what Walker's intentions are. But whether that's fight or plea bargain, most analysts believe John Walker may face serious jail time. Jim Stewart, CBS News, Washington.
U.S. military officials today began questioning other al-Qaeda and Taliban suspects, those held in a makeshift prison on the U.S. Navy base at Guantanamo Bay, Cuba. It currently holds 158 men, and that's all there will be for now. The Pentagon said today the facility is full, so detainee flights from Afghanistan are on hold until the prison is enlarged. Hundreds of detainees are being held at Afghanistan's Kandahar airport. U.S. troops there are watching closely for signs of enemy activity after finding what appeared to be 2 freshly dug mortar positions near their base. No weapons or ammunition were found. Congress is about to open hearings on the collapse of the politically connected Enron Corporation, which saw some Enron executives raking in a fortune, even as lower-level employees were losing their retirement savings. On the eve of the congressional hearings, one key witness refuses to testify. Cheryl Atkinson begins tonight's coverage of the Enron mess.
After weeks of revelations and accusations, Congress will tackle the Enron bankruptcy that cost shareholders billions and try to get to the bottom of murky accounting schemes that hid the company's huge losses and debt. Tomorrow's focus, document shredding by Enron's auditing firm, Arthur Andersen. But one of the most crucial witnesses says he'll exercise his Fifth Amendment protection against self-incrimination, meaning he's not talking. David Duncan was Arthur Andersen's lead partner on the lucrative Enron account and was fired last week for leading the effort to destroy documents. He's also the man who may know the most about who's to blame for Enron's unusual accounting tactics. Duncan's attorney told Congress it's premature to require him to testify. He's spoken informally with criminal and congressional investigators, and a source says prosecutors prefer he not speak publicly, but Congress is determined to make him take the Fifth in public.
He would be happy to testify if we'd give him immunity, and we won't give him immunity. So I'm still holding out a slight prayer that he will see the reason to testify tomorrow.
Congress will hear from another Andersen employee. The woman David Duncan says called for the Enron documents to be destroyed, senior Andersen attorney Nancy Temple. She said she merely sent an innocent reminder of company document policy, which calls for frequent shredding. Andersen CEO Joseph Ferradino declined to appear personally and instead cut a deal to send a partner. But it's the unusual spectacle of David Duncan invoking the Fifth Amendment before TV cameras that will likely be the attention grabber of the day.
99 times out of 100, if a witness in advance says he's going to take the Fifth Amendment through his attorneys or otherwise, the investigators give him a break. They don't require him to come in and say so in public in front of television cameras.
Congress may be playing hardball to send a message to other potential witnesses. After all, this is only the beginning of their many investigations. Dan?
Live from Washington, Cheryl Atkinson. Political hardball is also evident tonight in the way President Bush and both parties in Congress are trying to distance themselves from the taint of Enron. John Roberts reports on the strategies being rolled out to try to sway the public's perceptions.
Political pressure is building on the White House tonight to clarify its connections to Enron. 4 prominent senators sent this letter to the General Accounting Office urging it step up a probe of the president's energy plan and the role Enron may have played in shaping it. Once again, the White House refused to cooperate, claiming the GAO doesn't have the authority to investigate.
There's been no change in the White House position at all, and that includes from my statement, probably about 10 days ago when I said there was no change in the White House position.
The millions Enron showered on official Washington has left open questions about whether money bought special access. The White House is doing all it can to appear above the fray. President Bush even volunteering that his mother-in-law was a victim, losing almost her entire $8,200 investment in Enron stock.
And a lot of shareholders didn't know all the facts, and that's wrong.
The president's public outrage is in sharp contrast with the once close relationship between Enron and the White House. Close enough that Vice President Cheney intervened with the Indian government on Enron's behalf last summer. And enough that Enron Chairman Ken Lay called the Secretaries of Treasury and Commerce looking for help as his company was imploding. John Podesta navigated a few scandals in the Clinton White House as Chief of Staff.
It appears that they have done nothing wrong, and yet they continue to cast themselves in a way in which the American people are going to begin to think they're guilty.
In fact, a recent CBS News poll found that more than half of Americans think the White House isn't telling the whole story about Enron. Even the perception of a cover-up can be damaging, says Bruce Fine, Justice Department attorney under Ronald Reagan.
I can't see at all a reason for continued secrecy. The government here ought to be above suspicion like Caesar's wife.
The Democratic senators who sent this letter to the General Accounting Office also appear to be making every effort to cast suspicion on the White House. As committee chairman, they could have simply subpoenaed the information they want rather than publicly sign on to an investigation the White House argues could set a dangerous precedent. Dan?
At the White House, John Roberts. The Enron fiasco only complicates the looming battle in Congress over the nation's other pressing business, including taxes and spending policies affecting millions of Americans. CBS's Bob Schieffer has a preview of what's at stake.
Congress was all smiles on return from one of the longest winter vacations ever.
Back in the saddle again?
Congressional leaders phoned the president.
Hello.
To make it official. He seemed delighted.
I missed you all, and I'm looking forward to working with you.
But don't expect that to last. With an election coming, this could be one of the nastiest sessions ever. Knockdown, drag-out fights are expected on everything from taxes and cloning to prescription drugs and energy policy. And then there is this, the small matter of Enron, the company that wallpapered official Washington with millions of dollars in campaign contributions before its executives made a bundle and the company went bust.
We have to find out how it happened,
how we can prevent it from happening again, and hold those responsible accountable.
And Congress wants to be doubly sure voters don't think Enron got any favors here. One reason, perhaps, that 11, count them, 11 separate committees are investigating, combing records, issuing subpoenas, and calling witnesses. Senators are delighted that the Hart Office building, home to half the Senate, was declared safe yesterday after a $14 million anthrax cleanup. But staffers joke today it might be closed again because Enron was found in the vents. But after all those campaign contributions, will the public take all that Enron investigating seriously? House Speaker Dennis Hastert says they will.
It wouldn't affect if somebody got a bunch of campaign contributions. That wouldn't cause them to take a little easier.
I don't think so.
Well, for sure, we'll find out soon. In the meantime, everyone here is worried about how this one's going to play out. Dan.
Bob Schieffer on Capitol Hill. On the business of the federal budget, a return to deficit spending. The nonpartisan Congressional Budget Office today projected that the big surplus built up during the 1990s will shrink to $1.6 trillion over the next decade, $4 trillion less than it was projected just a year ago. The new forecast calls for a $21 billion deficit this year, $14 billion in the red next year. Also today, President Bush proposed the biggest defense budget increase in 20 years to add $50 billion for the war on terrorism. Still ahead on tonight's CBS Evening News, we take you inside Afghanistan. The warlords try to pick up where the Taliban made them leave off. And Eye Out America investigates the smuggling of illegal aliens and exposes some corporate doings.
The CBS Evening News and tonight's Eye on America segment are sponsored by Aflac. Ask about it at work.
Hey, if we get hurt. Whoa, good thing we got that insurance.
What's that?
Aflac!
What'd you say?
Aflac! Pays you cash and you can't work.
Before that!
I said I'm glad we got that insurance.
Not that.
Aflac. Ask about it at work.
Reading to the kids at the library is the highlight of Fred's week. But some days, his COPD keeps him from being there. Chronic bronchitis or emphysema associated with COPD can keep you from doing simple things.
But now taking Ceravent helps me take fuller breaths.
Nothing can reverse COPD, but taking Ceravent twice a day can help improve your lung function around the clock. Ceravent should not replace fast-acting inhalers for sudden symptoms or be taken more than twice a day. Some people may experience increased blood pressure, heart rate, or changes in heart rhythm. Ceravent is a prescription medicine and may not be right for everyone. Tell your doctor if you have a heart condition or high blood pressure, or take MAOIs or tricyclic antidepressants. Ask your doctor if Ceravent is right for you.
And start taking fuller breaths.
At Bank of America, we really wanted to participate in the Olympic Winter Games. But in the end, we decided to support the real athletes and stick to the things we do best. Like improving your performance by turning your checking account into an investment tool.
Once you pass 50, skincare's a whole new game.
L'Oreal creates age-perfect anti-sagging and ultra-hydrating treatment.
Because mature skin has issues all its own. It starts to sag, loses resiliency, and needs more moisture.
Age Perfect actually improves skin's resiliency, tightening its network as it deeply rehydrates. So effective, 83% of women reported more resilient skin.
It's a major breakthrough for mature skin.
Age Perfect anti-sagging and ultra-hydrating treatment, only from L'Oreal.
Because you're worth it.
When you or someone you love is hospitalized, safety matters most. That's why doctors and hospitals choose Tylenol more than any other pain reliever. Tylenol. Take comfort in our strength.
There's an update tonight on the anthrax attack investigation. Desperate for leads, the government today doubled the reward for information to $2.5 million. And $500,000 reward flyers will be distributed in the region near the New Jersey postal facility that processed 4 anthrax-laced letters. The Census Bureau reports the number of illegal immigrants in this country doubled in the past decade to more than 8.5 million. Many were smuggled in. That's tonight's focus in CBS's Eye on America investigative series on smuggling. What CBS's Bob McNamara turned up may surprise you.
Amador, I'm Bob. Jailed in Tennessee, Mexican native Amador Enchando Rascon is at the center of the biggest immigrant smuggling case involving a major American company, Arkansas's Tyson Foods.
When people asked you about working for Tyson, what did you tell them?
No contesto. No comment.
You can't answer that.
No.
In this 36-count federal indictment, the poultry processing giant Tyson Foods, one of its vice presidents and 5 managers are accused of conspiracy to recruit and smuggle illegal immigrants into this country to work at 15 Tyson plants in 9 states.
Myself, I believe that they gave it their blessing. Saved them money.
Shelbyville, Tennessee police uncovered the case, confiscating dozens of forged IDs from Hispanic workers at the town's Tyson processing plant. Undercover cameras and informants led them to this local Mexican grocery, where police say the store owner, Amador Enchando Rascon, was the self-styled Jefe de Jefes, the boss of the bosses, who was allegedly paid to supply illegal workers to Tyson for years.
If you needed false documents to gain employment, such as a Social Security card or a resident alien card, he was the one that could procure them for you.
Declining on-camera interviews, a Tyson headquarters statement says any violations were isolated incidents, involved only a handful of mid- and lower-level managers, and were a direct breach of company policy.
The illegal trade or illegal workers are nationwide. It's not just here.
For years, thousands of illegals have followed Mexico's Chicken Trail, a human smuggling route of desert hikes and long bus rides to the U.S. border. Though many are caught trying to smuggle into this country, many others do reach the hard-work, low-pay food processing jobs in southern and Midwest towns. It's a sensitive public relations issue.
Sir, I can't allow you to film.
That's had poultry companies on the defensive. But now, instead of rounding up the usual illegal suspects, federal prosecutors and police are going after the companies that supply the jobs.
That's what this case is about. It's about people that use the unfortunate circumstances of the illegal aliens to line their own pockets.
Are you a bad man? You're not.
Enchando Rascon may testify against Tyson, hoping to lessen his jail time and avoid being deported. But the good life he dreamed of in small-town America is now a nightmare of his own making. In Shelbyville, Tennessee, Bob McNamara for Eye on America.
The Federal Trade Commission said today identity theft, using other people's credit card or other personal data to steal, is this country's most reported form of fraud. Identity theft accounted for 42% of all complaints received by the FTC last year. Internet auction complaints were a distant second.
When diet and exercise fail, adding Lipitor can help lower your total cholesterol 29 to 45%. Lipitor is not for everyone, including people with liver disease or possible liver problems, and women who are nursing, pregnant, or may become pregnant. Simple blood tests are needed to check for liver problems. Tell your doctor about other medications you are taking, or if you experience muscle pain or weakness, as they may be a sign of serious side effects. 1 in 5 people has high cholesterol. Millions need treatment. For less cholesterol, ask your doctor if Lipitor is right for you.
Why do I rent from Enterprise? For more cargo room. More people room. Or more headroom. Enterprise. So easy it's like having a second car. Or third.
Pick Enterprise. We'll pick you up.
Even people who seem alike can have different nutritional needs. Ensure helps meet those needs, like Ensure High Protein with protein for muscles. It's a source of complete balanced nutrition and sure high protein. Drink to your health.
If you're taking aspirin for your heart, there's important news about mixing medication you need to discuss with your doctor. It's been shown that ibuprofen, the pain reliever in Advil and Motrin, in some cases may interfere with the way aspirin works to protect your heart. Don't let another pain reliever interfere with aspirin's life-saving benefits. To relieve tough pain, take extra strength Bayer aspirin. Nothing's proven stronger and more aspirin won't interfere. Bayer, take it for pain, take it for life. Aspirin is not appropriate for everyone, so be sure to talk to your doctor before you begin an aspirin regimen.
Daddy?
Hey,
Why are you eating my Cheerios?
they help lower Daddy's cholesterol. They're good for Daddy's heart.
Ah.
Whole grain oat Cheerios is the only leading cold cereal clinically proven to help lower cholesterol in a low-fat diet.
It's a cholesterol thing.
Inside Afghanistan tonight, Iran and Russia are quietly maneuvering for renewed influence. And CBS News has been told that a combined U.S.-Afghan force is maneuvering for an attack, possibly in a few days, on a Taliban and al-Qaeda foreign fighters holdout base in a remote section of Afghanistan. This is happening as a powerful warlord, a former Taliban supporter, handed over hundreds of weapons and dozens of vehicles to the new governor of Kandahar. A government spokesman said the wealthy tribal chieftain promised to keep the peace. But in Afghanistan, promises can evaporate like dew on the desert sand. With the Taliban gone, the warlords and their commanders are back in Afghanistan. Their ancient loyalties and hatreds put aside for now, but not forever. Reports from Kandahar suggest 20,000 tribal fighters there are ready to attack Herat province in the west. The warlord there, Ismail Khan, is said to be ambushing the meager trade convoys in his area. There's no question here that for at least now the military has suffocated Afghanistan's Taliban and al-Qaeda problem efficiently and quickly. But there's still problems aplenty stacking up here. Not least is the fact that there are heavy weapons everywhere. They're being maintained, they say, just in case they're needed. European soldiers are patrolling some cities, helping to keep Afghan guns off the street. And Prime Minister Hamid Karzai knows that any international aid depends on his ability to create a safe and honest society. What assurances do we have that the money will go where the work is, that it won't be skimmed off?
That's a real concern. There have been people who stole money from this country. The economy is in ruins.
But Ahmed Karzai's fragile country also faces external threats. There are already reports that some commanders have allowed Iranians into the country. If I were to surmise that the Russians and the Iranians have their version of special forces in the country, would you argue with that?
I will not lie to you, though. There are a couple of those guys in there that I pegged as operators.
President Bush has repeatedly warned Iranian officials not to harbor al-Qaeda fighters and not to destabilize the new Afghan government.
This is a country that historically, for centuries, it's at the crossroads of everyone's interest. And so the center here, Afghanistan, if it cannot be sustained as a nation state with some sense of stability and security, means the entirety of this very volatile region is up for grabs.
The Soviet invasion of Afghanistan in late 1979 and now Russia's interest there are about the same thing, grabbing the region's rich raw materials. Pakistan, though, is far more complex. It helped create the Taliban. There are reports that al-Qaeda fighters are still hiding in Pakistan's remote regions. And Pakistan's role as a senior Muslim state with a nuclear bomb can never be forgotten. All three countries continue to forge a toehold in Afghanistan. And the international community, which has already pledged more than $4.5 billion to rebuild Afghanistan, will be watching events closely. The interim Afghan government is equally concerned about the warlord threat. One official said today United Nations peacekeepers may be needed well beyond their current 6-month commitment.
Looking for a quiet moment? Get a quieter cookie. Soft, fruit chewy Fig Newtons. Time out from the everyday crunch.
Nexium.
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 Nexium. People are asking their doctors about it. And if you call 1-800-4-NEXIUM, you'll learn about a free trial offer.
Today's purple pill is Nexium.
Okay, you there?
I'm here.
What's up?
Bargains, Teddy. Bargains. I figured out a way to give people a computer complete with monitor, a CD burner, and a 20-gig hard drive, all for $5.99.
Awesome. Hey, Joe, we've got company. Mr. Wade, may I recommend the beef fillet today? Just a salad, please.
I like to come here early in the morning.
Tylenol PM stops nighttime pain and helps you sleep so you can wake up refreshed.
If I don't have a good morning, I don't hold out much hope for the rest of the day.
Take comfort. It's Tylenol PM.
You'll love Ziploc Easy Zipper. Just easy zipper it, and you know it's closed. Ziploc Easy Zipper. Easy open, easy close. Easy zipper.
Imagine combining the stain-fighting power of Efferdent and freshening power of Listerine. You'd get Efferdent Plus. It's extra fresh, and nothing gets your dentures cleaner. Efferdent Clean, Listerine Fresh. That's Efferdent Plus.
Around here, book club's just an excuse for us to be together.
Love those shoes. They are so me.
We talk. We eat. We do great salads.
I just chopped everything I could get my hands on.
These light done right dressings from Kraft are like our new favorites.
Now that is good.
Just enough fat to taste amazing. It's like Kraft asked, is this light done right? And we said,
perfect. Do you love this? The book? Oh, yeah, the book.
Around here, the dressing is Kraft.
Even people who seem alike can have different nutritional needs. Ensure helps meet those needs, like Ensure High Protein with protein for muscles. It's a source of complete balanced nutrition. Ensure High Protein. Drink to your health.
The USS Carl Vinson returns from Afghanistan to Puget Sound, bringing Northwest military crews back to their loved ones. We'll have a live report at 6.
It is the happiest sort of homecoming. Home from the sea, home from the war. The nearly 6,000 sailors of the U.S. aircraft carrier Carl Vinson arrived today in their home port of Bremerton, Washington. The Vinson launched some of the very first U.S. warplanes to strike Afghanistan. Except for the drizzly weather, their welcome home was a near-perfect picture, with cheers and tears from joyous families and the stars and stripes everywhere you looked. And that's part of our world tonight. I'll be back later this evening here on CBS with 60 Minutes, too. The man who has one of the world's toughest jobs talks about getting bin Laden and shows us what the Taliban and Al-Qaeda did to his palace and his country. Plus, why would the ER turn away an ambulance with a dying boy? It happened to them, and it's happening more and more. We invite you to join us tonight at 8, 7 Central for 60 Minutes, too. And at the usual time tomorrow for the CBS Evening News. Dan Rather reporting. Back in a few on 62.
For news 24 hours a day, CBS.com on the internet and on our interactive partner, America Online at keyword CBS News.
This is CBS.